Yeah, I was told this is supposed to be raunchy.
Well, we took the other mic away, so you can do that now.
No, I was told, but I see these cameras. It's rather intimidating.
In your other pocket.
Well, I've only got the raunchy one that was prepared. I was just meeting with a bunch of hotel owners, and that was a focus about the economy. We're going to improve the economy and how Paul Corcoran's going to fix the city budget so they'll make more revenues and all that wonderful stuff. But I'm Bill's seatmate at the Los Angeles City Council. And our relationship goes back to when I was with the Los Angeles Police Protective League, and I had the pleasure of meeting Bill when we were doing cable television. He was known as the cable guy. And he was an infamous person on the cable channels of the city of Los Angeles, and always that bright smile, always that energetic attitude. And I had no idea Bill was gay. When he hugged me and kissed me, I just thought it was a gesture of friendship. Because, you know, he's like Kevin James. He looks like a macho guy. More macho than Kevin James. Well, we had discussed that. We had discussed gay issues sometimes during the boring sessions of council, and Bill and I had gotten into some discussions about that. But I've been to his home. I've seen the chickens. He actually raises chickens. He does pass out eggs. But we have been sitting together for almost 8 years now, seatmates. And it's been an experience that has brought new life to me. And we know Bill is recovering from cancer, but his attitude and his perspective and his enthusiasm and his energy and what he says now in council, he really doesn't care what he says because he just says it. He will get up, and it doesn't matter if Herb Weston, the council president, is saying, you know, it's your time's, I want to keep on talking. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right. And anytime Bill can put on his cap from the American Legion, and Bill is a veteran of the American Legion, and he's done extremely well representing our country. But I have a couple of, shall we say, interesting comments. Bill talks a lot about his use of medical marijuana to help with the pain caused by his cancer. Now, Bill's taken marijuana way before he had cancer. Bill dates back to the, you know, we used to have beatniks and hippies. Bill dates back to that. Now, being a former cop, when Bill comes to council and sits down, I'm sitting next to him saying, now, what flavor was that, Bill? What flavor was that? Now, in the old days, he'd be going to jail. But, Bill, exactly what are you smoking when you decided to endorse Dennis Kucinich for president? You endorsed Dennis Kucinich for president. What were you smoking at that time, Bill? He was smoking something good. So, and I see there's eggs. And I have a number of these containers. Empty at home because I've used them. And Bill will bring eggs to council. Those of you ever come to council, whatever you're receiving in recognition, Bill likes to pass out eggs. And he's got these turkey eggs, and these are the big ones. Now these are just regular ones, but he's got the big turkey eggs. I've never seen eggs that size, but that's it, the big turkey eggs. The eggs that Bill passes out, odd shapes, odd colors, even green ones, and he does have green eggs. Now, I am sure that the chickens haven't been feeding off the medical marijuana stash that he has in the backyard to get the green eggs. Bill convinced me that medical marijuana is necessary. He convinced me to support Measure D, and I am advocating Measure D. Bill and I have worked together to try and bring some logic and common sense, and on the election you will be able to vote Measure D, which we're encouraging. That way we'll be able to regulate this. We've worked together tirelessly. So you have the former cop working with the former marijuana man coming up with logic for the people of Los Angeles. Now let me tell you about the LAX expansion vote. Now Bill told me, he says, if you support this measure from Westchester, and we want to modernize LAX, we want to utilize the regional transportation from Ontario, if you do that, I guarantee you, you're going to be elected to the controller. He said, I guarantee it. So he says congestion on our freeways and local roads, hundreds of millions of dollars spent for no good at the LAX on this. They want to expand the runways into Westchester and chop up Westchester. And we kept on saying modernization, 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 not expansion. That was the constant theme. And Bill lobbied me very, very hard on this. Very, very hard. I'm a straight man. And I knew I couldn't turn my back on Bill because the consequences would be painful. They said raunchy. This is just a little bit of it. So Bill likes to talk about his service in the military, and Bill was a veteran. Bill was a veteran. In fact, he won awards for boosting the morale of our military troops. All branches of the military. How exactly did he boost the morale? Don't ask, don't tell Bill. So, after a lifetime of working in the industry of media and now politics, Bill's going to be retiring in a few weeks. I don't think Bill's going to retire. I think Bill's going to continue doing something because we've talked about the opportunities that he has. And a person who has cancer, you think of that as something very negative where you're just going to lie down and give up. Let me tell you about Bill. He comes to work every single day, and he is diligent with that work. He doesn't give up. The lady to the next to me, and we sit at the end of this circle that we have, semicircle, she has cancer. She's back to work, and I know you two have spoken. But when you look at what Bill has done in a situation that has affected his life, and many people would just throw in the towel and give up, Bill hasn't done that because he's a man of compassion. He's a man of intelligence. He's a man who fights. He fights for what is right. He fights for what is the interest of his community. And the aspect that I've always admired about Bill is he's candid. And he will tell you from his heart what he believes. But what's inspiring about Bill is that he will not give up the fight for the people who elected him to public office. He will never give up the fight for the people who he represents. And that I admire from the bottom of my heart. And sitting next to him for all these years, it's been an inspiration. It's been an inspiration to see a man, before he had cancer, was part of the team, but he has galvanized the team of the City Council with what he has experienced. But he hasn't given up. He hasn't thrown in the towel. He continues to fight, and he continues to come to work. He continues to represent the people that have elected him. And I know people keep talking about how he says, great, 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 great. And I've teased him about that for so many years. But when you have a man who gives his heart and his soul to the people that elected him to public office, that's a man that has to have our respect, our love, our admiration. And with that, I want to say to Bill, great, 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 great. Thank you.
Councilman Zine, everybody. So, Bill, just between you and me, yes, when you talked him into like supporting the medical marijuana thing, did he inhale?
You'll have to ask him.
All right. Well, you've met our current president of the press club, Jill Stewart.